real cases before a real judge.
Plaintiff Rebecca Becker met the defendant when she agreed to rent a room in his home. But she eventually fell in love with him, and they got engaged. Rebecca claims one day out of the blue, the defendant kicked her out without notice, and she's suing for an illegal eviction, moving costs, and emotional distress. Defendant Albert Kramer says he was never in love with Rebecca, and he never asked her to marry him. But she stole his ex-girlfriend's ring and claimed they were engaged. Albert's countersuing Rebecca for the cost of a tummy tuck.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Well, Your Honor, I posted an ad on Craigslist looking for housing. I stated what I could afford and what I was looking for as far as what I needed. He answered my ad, and I was at my witness Jackie's work one day, and he texted me and said, "Do you want me to pick you up?" I said, "Okay." He took me to his house, and it was a nice house. He told me the day that I went and met him that he said, "If you're with me, you can have all of this, and it'll be good, and it'll only get better." I was like, "You're 900. This isn't happening. I'm not going to be with you." And I said I would like to rent the room. And so we just had spoken back and forth because I was in a halfway house at the time. About 3 days after we met, I told him I have a boyfriend in another town, and I don't really want to be with you. He took me shopping the second day we met, and he got my nails done, took me out to dinner, and
Even though you knew he was interested in seeing you?
absolutely knew he was interested, but I mean, I wasn't opposed to him taking me out. I had been in prison for 3 years, and I was still at the halfway house, and I told him about my boyfriend. He said, "Well, break up with him and be with me." And I said, you know, he really made me believe that he loved me. And,
What did he do to you to make you cry today?
I don't know how you go from loving someone in the morning to kicking them out that night and just...
So you all were in love?
I was.
Okay, see, I missed that. All right, I mean, because how long after meeting him did you move in?
About 4 days after we met, I was okay with moving in with him.
Did you intend to pay rent?
No, there was never any...
So you were in love within those first 4 days?
I wasn't in love with him in the first 4 days, but I was definitely bedazzled. I was like, wow, he is treating me so great, and he connected with me.
What day did you tell him about your boyfriend?
The third day.
You went from, I got a boyfriend, I don't want to be with you because of my boyfriend, to, I'm bedazzled, let me move in.
No, I'm bedazzled. Let me call my boyfriend, break up with him. Al sat there and watched me call him on face-to-face time. And
what did you do, Doc? You are the man! My God!
I mean, honestly...
You are something else!
That's a real thing.
Linda be here tomorrow, keep her away.
Yeah, all right.
He was...
How'd you have this woman? 3 days she refused you.
It was actually 4.
Oh, wow.
And then when you say, call him and tell him it's over. I'm the captain now. And she did it?
Your Honor.
By her own admission.
Your Honor, that's not exactly how.
Nothing against you, ma'am. He's the man. That's all. I'm not gonna question you.
Undeniable. Like,
yeah,
he was
he's the
incredible.
man.
He was
You're the man.
really good. So.
Oh, how you like? What you looking at me like that for? That's what it is. Go ahead, sir. You tell me what type of magic you work.
It was 4 days, and she explained when I told her...
Let's start off from the beginning.
Right.
She said she was just looking for a place to stay, and you began hitting on her immediately.
No.
And she tried to tell you, those first 3 at least, that she didn't want to be with you. Go ahead.
I would pick her up after the first day we met. I picked her up in a bar, a gaming bar, where she's not supposed to be because she was on parole. We went to my house. She liked the house. She asked me if I'd pick her up at the halfway house where she was staying the next day. So I did.
All of this is en route to her looking for a place to stay.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
So I take her to either work out or to my house. I'd do my work while she was working out. Then I'd bring her there and she'd watch TV all day, every day.
This is before moving in?
Yes. And then when she finally got the paperwork done to move in, they required a rental certificate or paperwork. So she said, put down $300 a month on it, and she turned it in. And it finally got approved. And when I picked her up, she had 2 bags of clothes, put them in the back seat, and said, I'm free, I'm moving in today.
When did the boyfriend call come? That's what I want to know, how you got her to do that.
The boyfriend call came on like the 4th day because I explained to her the situation I wanted. It was more like a live-in girlfriend because I have health issues and I need somebody there with me all the time. A year and a half ago, I had double pneumonia. I was in a coma 5 days, in the hospital 16, and if my girlfriend hadn't called 911 at 11:30 at night, I wouldn't be here now.
And so how does that relate to her moving in that 4th day?
I explained to her
and her calling.
I explained to her what I was looking for was more of a live-in girlfriend.
And what did she say?
She said, I have a boyfriend. And I said, well, this isn't going to work. Because if you have a boyfriend, you're not going to be a live-in girlfriend with me. It doesn't work that way. And she said, I'll call him and break up. And she did.
When did you all fall in love? How long after that?
We were never in love.
She said she was.
Well, we were in love. I was in love with him. I know that.
Did she ever tell you she loved you?
I don't recall ever hearing that word.
Did you ever tell him you loved her?
All the time.
No, I did not.
Go ahead.
I never told her I was in love with her. I never asked her to marry me. The ring she took from me was my ex-girlfriend's engagement
What do you mean
ring.
took from you? You mean accept as your fiance? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, because she wasn't my fiance. I never asked her to
She
marry
stole
me.
the ring
Yes.
and put it on her finger?
I would let her, when we go out gambling, she kept telling me guys were hitting on her because she's pretty. So I said, look, I can let you wear the ring when we go out. That way it'll stop that stuff. So I did. And then we take it off, put it back in the box, and the day she left, she took it.
How long after meeting him did you fall in love?
I can't give you an exact day. Like, it just
Weeks, months?
happened weeks.
Weeks?
I had been incarcerated a long time, and he acted very interested in me. He was very attentive. He was
Served your emotional needs,
Yes.
which is love?
He was very, very good in bed, and we really hit it off as far as being friends, and he paid attention to me, and he valued me, it seemed like, and I really believed him.
Okay, and how did it go when you all were together?
Well, we were only together 2 months, 10 days, and the first month and a half was great. But I slowly started noticing, like, he would be rude to me. He started calling me names, belittling me, being disrespectful. My friend Jackie would come to pick me up for a lunch date, and we went to go somewhere, and she said, do you have your ID? And I said, well, Al keeps it for me. She said, why would he keep your ID? I said, well, it's just easier, you know, because he always has it. And I didn't see the manipulation. Jackie came over to help me like just have friendship and interaction with other people. And she called me and said, let's go to the movies. I said, okay, let's go. Within the first hour of being gone, he was texting, don't come back. If you don't like the life that I provide you, you could just stay gone. He said, I'm in charge.
So that was why you believe he broke up with you, because you left with Jackie and he thought you were into something.
I think, yeah, he was just really insecure.
Let me hear from you, sir.
The afternoon that she left, I was in the backyard and she comes out with a glass of wine. Well, I asked her, why are you drinking wine? You don't even like my wine. And she says, there's nothing else. Well, when she moved in, I had to hide all the alcohol.
Why?
I put it because it was against her probation.
Is that
You're
true,
not allowed
ma'am?
to have any alcohol
Ma'am?
in the house.
Well, you prohibited from drinking alcohol.
There was no stipulation in my parole packet stating that I couldn't drink alcohol.
That's what she told me.
When you tell me what would happen then when you brought that up to her
Before?
about alcohol and why she shouldn't use it, what would she say?
She said, I quote, I do what I want. I think she was using me from the start for anything she
When
could
did you
get.
discover that?
After we got the tummy tuck.
How long after knowing her did you pay for her to get a tummy tuck?
It was like 2.5, 3 weeks before she left. I don't have the exact date, but I did it because she told me they had lowered the price from $12,000 to $8,000 if we paid that day. She told me she had $1,800 in savings, and she'd give me $1,500 to start off with and pay me back out of her checks.
All right, let me hear from her, ma'am. You were telling me about the breakup, and you were getting to the eviction, I suppose. But go ahead. You tell me. He told you not to come back.
Well, I have a lot of text messages here that show that that I cared about him and that I wanted to be with him, and he.
Let's see those.
Oh, absolutely.
There's
a
bunch
whole
of them.
plethora.
You have 10 pages. Do all 10 pages refer to your love?
See, this one here does, and then these
that's
ones.
one.
Let me see this one here.
Let's see that one that she has identified so far. Give me another one. Both of y'all talk crazy. I'll read the part you're probably referring to. I know I had no one and nothing when you met me. I never used you. I loved you and was committed to you and us. This is what throws me off. The next statement is by him. One bottle a night, and it never makes me angry or crazy. It's raining here again. This is what he says. You say, I love the rain. He says, me three. You say, I can't believe I gave you anything. I feel cheaper for having shared my body with your cheap A.
Oh, God.
I only felt special and loved at the very beginning. Now I feel used, but smarter and stronger for having left you and doing my own life on my own without you, regardless of the fact that you kept everything I had. You already got everything you're going to get from me. This is you. I'm tired of the lies and the deceit. It will only hurt for a little while because you have shown me who you are. Yeah, she did fall in love. I told you, the man. Yeah, this woman don't say this unless she's in love. You are the man. You need to take us all back. Go and get the staff. He can give us some lessons.
That's right, yeah.
All right. And the eviction. Tell me what happened when you understood him to evict you. He said he doesn't want you there anymore. Go ahead.
He told me not to come back, and he told me that he had loaded guns in the house.
Let me see that. And did he ever say why?
I don't speak up. Why did he? He didn't never really set a direct reason why.
And when I leave, I'll lock the dogs in the house and set the alarm. You easily forget I am the one who is in charge. Tomorrow afternoon, I'll have everything you came here with boxed up for you in exchange for the ring. You can have friends and police escort you here to get your things, and they can come in and see my shotgun and air rifle in the bedroom when they escort you out. The guns are now in the house and loaded. Sir, what do you say to this? She says it was an illegal eviction.
Well, I would think that you have to pay rent before you're evicted. She never paid a dime of rent. And what actually happened that night was she told me she was going out partying and dancing with her girlfriend. And I said, you're not supposed to be doing that because you're still on parole. And she said, I do what I want to do.
That never
Later, she texted me and said, I don't know what time I'm going to be home. And I told her, I said, Becca, if you like who you're with and you like where you are, stay there and don't come back.
All right. And I read all the other things she said as well. And that is indeed an illegal eviction. She was your tenant. It's just like any other tenant that moves in and don't pay rent. You got to go to court and get him out. You're not the only one that doesn't get your rent from your tenant. So you have to get a court order. And I know the moving costs. What is the emotional distress for?
Your Honor, I had just had the surgery that he didn't insist upon it, but he surely was all about it when I got it. I had consultations at a bunch of different places that he had taken me to, all of them. My income a month at the time was $490, and so there was no realistic way that I would have even talked about doing something of that nature at that expense. So when he had gotten it done on May 2nd, he kicked me out May 11th, and I still had 17 inches of stitches across my stomach, and I was not able to get homeless assistance because I was disabled and I wasn't able to go on bunk beds or anything. I went directly from prison to him, and then everything I had he had given me, but then he kept everything I owned when he didn't allow me back into the house. And through parole, I wasn't allowed to go in the house anyway, so I had to call my parole officer and tell him that I had to be out of the house. It was just a nightmare.
Sorry, let me hear from you.
I would have never offered to pay for the tummy tuck if she hadn't told me she was going to give me the $1,500 down from her savings account, and never offered to get any money to me ever since.
When you ask, what would she say?
I can't go anywhere because I'm in so much pain.
Go anywhere as in?
To the bank to get the money.
Okay, you assume she had it? She told you she had it in the bank?
Yes, sir.
Even though she wasn't paying you?
Right.
And didn't have a place?
Correct.
All right. When's the last time you asked for it prior to breaking up?
I only asked for the money one time, but she would never be with me in the house intimately or anything. She would just lay on the couch, and every time I'd say, can we go out? I'm in too much pain. I don't feel good. But yet she has enough good feelings to be able to go out with Jackie, have Jackie come over to the house. And she has time to have fun with her girlfriends, but not with me.
Your counterclaim, $5,000. You say she agreed to pay you, and she was to pay you $1,500 the first week. And when was the rest to be paid?
Monthly, when she got her check.
How much per month?
She didn't say.
Okay, was she getting her check?
I don't know. I didn't delve into her personal finances.
So you didn't have an agreement. All right, so you have any defense to the eviction other than she wasn't a tenant, as you believe the case to be? That's your only defense? You didn't believe she was a tenant?
Yes.
All right, she was. Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day. Your claim is dismissed.
He lied a lot. I was there. Like, he lied so much about it. He wanted to marry her. I asked him, when do you want this wedding? He goes, I'm thinking about June. You can work on that together. And so we were happy to plan the wedding. That's
not true. I never asked her to marry me. She mentioned marriage, and I told her, if we're together for 6 months, then we can discuss it.
That never happened. I was there at the house.
She was only at the house one time.
I've
only seen her one time in my life.
Well, Al, I mean, I'm glad that you just have...
Look at the camera, speak up.
...pictures of prostitutes giving you oral sex that you sent to me, and that you're just a hurtful human. And I hope that you have to have a better life without me.
Plaintiff Torrance Sanders says the defendant lives in his rental property, and chaos follows her wherever she goes. Torrance claims once, when he entered her unit for maintenance, she pulled a gun on him, and he's suing her for stolen property and damages. Defendant Sonia Smith says Torrance has tried to sleep with her ever since she moved into his rental property, and he's only suing because he's jealous of her younger boyfriend. Sonia is countersuing for emotional distress.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you. Your Honor, I met Sonia about 5 years ago when she was dating my cousin. And in that 5 years, I've seen nothing but ruckus in her life and just instability. She's currently dating a guy that has a whole family on the other side of town, and this woman that the guy is involved with, she's came and busted the windows out on my property, and I just don't want to have anything else to do with Sonia since she pulled a gun out on me for coming into my house trying to do maintenance work.
She can't come in there with a gun.
She can have a gun, but can she pull a gun out on me just for calling her out of her name?
Let me get at some thought while I If she's from Detroit, yes, go ahead.
Actually, Your Honor, I'm from New York,
you. I'm
so
just
that's
kidding.
the problem.
Sorry, she shouldn't do that at all. Let me hear from you, ma'am.
No, I'm not from Detroit. I'm from New York. And I met Torrance 5 years ago.
Harlem or Brooklyn?
No, Syracuse. Quiet little Syracuse.
Ah, you know, quiet.
So,
go ahead.
So I met him 5 years ago. Like he said, I was dating his cousin. as far as he's saying I have ruckus in my life, it is what it is. I moved to Indiana after my children were grown, and basically to start off a new life. I am in school getting my high school diploma and my CCMA as well. I have worked for the same company in Indiana since I have been in Indiana, so very unstable I am not. He came to me and asked me to help him because he couldn't afford to pay his own rent. That's how I ended up in the house.
Okay, what about this gun?
No.
You pull on him?
No, I didn't pull a gun on him. I pulled a knife on him and told him to get out my house.
She was from
because he was in my house calling
She
me
is
out
lying,
my name.
Your Honor. She pulled a whole big gun on me,
out of my
and
name.
I got the.
Hold on, how do you all come to that?
Because he comes in my house, he's disrespectful because of this young guy that he keeps.
How many times has he called you out of your name?
Every time we have a discussion that has anything to do with the youngster, the young guy, it's a problem.
What does the young guy do?
Now he comes to visit me, and he doesn't want him there.
Did he ever say why he doesn't want him there?
Because Torrance has been trying to sleep with me since I've been living in that house.
All right.
What?
You're missing a big factor.
Oh, my.
That's what this is
You left
about.
out a big factor, man. All right, you should have started out with that, or at least put it in
I
a
got
little
a whole
bit.
beautiful
I was
wife.
about to skip your testimony. I thought you were finished. How many times has he harassed you about this guy?
It started probably like a month after I got there. At that time, when I moved into the room, because I was renting a room from him, at the time that I moved into the room, the young guy and I were on the outs. We weren't talking. So when I moved in by myself, without him, without us dating. After I moved back when I moved into the apartment, we reconciled and got back together. And so then after that, then it became a problem. So anytime that he would come around and leave, he would come, I want you to keep him off from over here. I don't want him over here on this property. I don't. And why? Because he's over here visiting me?
He said because his other woman came and damaged
she
the
didn't.
property.
Yes, she did.
Your Honor, when she came.
What did she come for?
When she came.
Why did she come? Let's start there.
Okay, because he was at my house.
Go ahead.
And she broke out the window to my car. Did not touch his property.
Okay, ma'am. Go ahead. You got drama.
So this sugar
you got
mama,
drama queens all around you.
Right here has broken every rule that we've agreed that she was going to abide
She admitted
by.
the woman came over there for a guest that she has, and the ultimate conclusion was violence. So yeah, you're right. I'm hearing drama. So, and she doesn't mind it. She said, "Oh yeah,
cool
I'm
with
all
it."
of that." So yeah. Now what? Next.
Thank you.
The wrong drama queens make life exciting. All right.
Yeah,
go
but what
ahead.
she don't understand is I have a 2- and a 5-year-old that also stays in the same building that I can't have this going on.
That's not true, Your Honor.
You know, so I formulated this list of rules that she agreed
see
to.
it, please.
And she has broken every last one of them rules a long time ago. You know, I've been wanting her out of my place.
It's a lie.
She does not follow rules. She's not a good rule follower. Period. Hey, if you living in somebody's house, you gotta abide by their rules, or you can go and get on up out of here. I need my doors to stay locked, so every time I go in that back door and it's unlocked, I throw a fit. I got so many valuables in my house, including this $666 sword.
Whatever the case, yeah, these are his rules for his house, and they're very reasonable. Everything I've read is not unreasonable for you to adhere to, or for any tenant to adhere to. So, what about the stolen property and damages? Tell me about that. That's what you're suing for today,
Your Honor. She moved out of one room in my house into another room in my house. On that day, I noticed that my floor was messed up in this room. I said, "What happened to my floor?" She said, "I don't know. I didn't do that." I said, "Who did it then? Because ain't no Casper don't live in here with you. Who did this to my floor? Because this is a perfect floor before, and here's the afterward, the day that she moved in. Out of there, into another room."
That's not true, Your Honor.
Oh, my goodness.
How is it not true? Who did it?
There was
Who
water.
else was in the room?
There was water. It was raining one day.
So then that means my ceiling. Wait, why would you live in a room with rain and water down it?
Can I finish talking?
Now let him finish first. Tell me the stolen property and the damages. So far, you're showing
why you didn't tell me
showing me the damages to the floor. That's what you're showing me here, sir?
Yes.
and I'll let you defend yourself against the damages shortly. What other damages, and then tell me about the stolen property.
So my sword came up missing that was on top of a curio. Your Honor, I have a 2- and 5-year-old that once I was in there, I had to keep that sword completely away from that 2- and 5-year-old. Your Honor, that sword did not jump off that curio and walk out of there.
What else?
That's it, Your Honor.
That was it? All right, let me see something perhaps on the repair of the floors, an estimate.
That's an estimate for that,
something
and this is an estimate for my sword.
Let me hear from you, ma'am, first about the floors.
It had rained one day outside, and when it rained, it buckled the floor. When it buckled the floor, it made the tile come up, and I moved the futon to clean the room, and I let him know that the floor was buckled. There was also a broken door in that room as well. He made me pay for the door, and if I had ruined the floor, he would have made me pay for the floor as well. He extorts me out of money constantly because my friend broke the door, and he would not leave me alone until I paid for it. So there's no way he would have made me.
He broke the door?
My friend broke the door.
So who should pay for it?
No, I paid for it. I paid for the door.
You said he made me, as if that was something he shouldn't have done.
I paid for the door.
Right, but ma'am, let me clarify, because I hear your mindset now. Your friend damaged his property, and you referred to he made me, as if he did something wrong by having you pay for property of his that your friend damaged. That's all I want to clarify.
I didn't mean to make it made me, but what I'm saying is if I damaged the floor at the same time, he would have made sure that I paid to have that floor replaced. Is all I'm saying.
Did you ask her to replace it?
No, he did not. That's
I
why
said,
he moved
what happened
to
to my
another
floor?
room without
Have you asked her to replace it at any point?
No.
Yes, I did.
What did she say when you asked her?
I did not do that to your floor.
That's the last time you all discussed it?
Yes.
All right. And ma'am, do you recall him asking for money or for you to repair the floor?
No, he did not ask me because I had already, when I told him that the floor was buckling, I let him know that it was raining, and he said, well, I'll take care of it. It was only one piece of tile missing.
So you're saying said he'd take care of it. That's your defense to the damages.
He would fix the floor. It wasn't my fault.
You have nothing showing that you discussed the damage with her?
On the 18th, Your Honor, she moved out of the room. I had a man that's going to move directly into the room. I'm like, how can I sell this room with this floor like this?
Okay, I will read what you gave to me and how you talked to this woman. No wonder she pulled that gun, a knife, or everything else on you. Come over there if you want to, calling her another name or saying any of this. Just get out of my house. I'm changing the locks. I'm so not playing. If you think I'm lying, then just watch. Get your bum A out of my house. B. All right. Your counterclaim emotional distress is for how much? $1,000. How so?
Because when I was in my room on October 23rd, I was in my bed. I woke up in the morning to a window being busted out. I don't know why the window was busted, but Torrance was the last person.
All right, now I've read enough of this to believe everything you're saying, that he calls you out of your name. You gave me your own evidence. You gave me this.
Your Honor, this was after...
I don't care when it was. I don't care when it was. You don't talk to a woman like this without having to pay for your sins. Anybody I ever talked to like this, they either sued me or threatened to go to the police.
Your Honor...
Or to my big brother, or to my big sister, or whoever.
Also locked me out
Your
of
Honor,
the
all right,
and stressed me out during.
Show me evidence that she stole the sword. Do you have any evidence of that?
Well, if she's the only one that's
okay, so you don't have evidence. All right.
How can I prove that she stole it? I know that it was there.
You have to. You got to prove it.
Your Honor, I have a 2- and a 5-year-old.
Just because it's there and it's gone does not mean she took it. Could be one of those repair people that, but I'm sorry, you never sent repair people in.
No,
all right, could be, right. Could be.
But either way,
that means no proof. That means you haven't proven it. All you have proven is the evidence that you gave me to back up how you have talked to this woman, called her all kind of B's, threatened to illegally evict her. Get your bum A out of my house.
Your Honor.
And you sitting there talking about the reason you did it? Let me tell you this.
She's been causing me
Get your A out of my courtroom. You got it? Case dismissed. Yours is granted for emotional distress.
Thank you.
You still a bum.
Thank you.
You still a bum.
Not off my Hey, Becky,
You still a bum.
I
think it's insane.
I'm gonna let y'all talk to these people. I got things to do. I need to go to work.
I wish you the best, Sonia.
Yeah, you too, boo.
Plaintiff Angela Salazar rented a room in her home to the defendant, and she soon realized he wanted to be her boy toy in lieu of paying rent. Angela admits that she and the defendant fooled around, but insists she refused to have sex with him. And she's suing him today for unpaid rent. Defendant Christopher Diaz says after moving in with Angela, she became obsessed with him and would use her security system to spy on him. Christopher claims he even caught Angela outside looking through his window, and he's countersuing her for damaged property.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Okay. Well, I feel Christopher came to rent a room out of my home with the intention of being my boy toy in exchange for free rent.
Where did you know him from?
He added an ad on Craigslist that I'd posted. Came over, we met, seemed like he would fit into the household, rented the room. Things got really strange when he approached me one day asking if I'd ever used meth. Asked me if I'd ever, I'm sorry?
What'd you tell him?
I told him no. I said I'd had some curiosities. However, I never wanted to try it because I can have an addictive personality, so I didn't want to risk it. After that, the conversation turned sexual. Mentioned that he'd be able to satisfy my every need. If I scratched his back, he'd scratch mine. I was somewhat tempted, being that we'd fooled around a couple of times. However, that wasn't going to pay the bills, so I declined.
Fooled around after he moved in?
Yes.
How'd that happen?
Just a couple of times we met up in his room.
You know, who came on to who?
He came on to me. He invited me to his room, and I took him up on the offer. More than once.
More than once?
More than once. More than once.
Just tell me how it went exactly. I want to hear that. I want to hear that invitation. You're just walking around. It's your house. You're just walking around.
Yeah.
And he said, hey. Go in the room.
He came. That's exactly how it went, Your Honor.
Huh?
That's exactly how it went.
That's not true.
Yeah.
That's not true.
So you tell me about this, sir.
My name's
I want to hear the
Diaz.
gossipy part, not this other stuff.
No, yeah.
About no meth.
So, first of all, that's not
you want
true.
to tell me about the meth? She said you offered to smoke meth with her or to ask her if she did.
I've never even tried that, to be honest.
Okay. Did you ask her that?
No.
If she wanted some.
I had told her about, like, in her past, like it was once when we were talking about, like, just, you know, to get to know her. Mm-hmm. But I never told her to do anything like that.
As part of getting to know her, you wanted to know if she...
Because of the weirdness that came from her.
Okay, like what?
Why I asked.
Tell me how it was weird.
So when I first moved in, I was new to the city. I wanted to go somewhere where my stuff was going to be safe. Mm-hmm. She had a whole security system in her house, which I never knew that she was going to use to like be obsessed with like everybody that she had in her household, which is why I asked these questions, because I would catch her on several occasions going through my trash, asking me about the people I would bring, and she would ask me like things she would catch on camera, right? So she offered me to rent the back room, which I took advantage of that deal because I felt like I would get more privacy. I felt like she was always spying on me.
How much were you paying?
I was paying $475.
Okay, go ahead.
And I felt like she obviously liked me, right? I have my girlfriend as a witness that she would on several occasions like just be sitting outside my room in the pitch black.
No, she said she was on call whenever you wanted.
Yeah, but I never.
Yeah. She said she was on call.
I have pictures of her.
Time to go.
So when I went to the back room, I have pictures of her.
You called her in there. That's all she had. You had to do it.
Pictures of her looking at me through her window, just like staring into my room.
Yeah, you shouldn't have been calling her in there. Did you ever call her in and have sex with her?
No. Not like that. No, nothing
not
like
that.
No,
How
because
is it
I
then?
wanted to know what was the deal with her, like acting like this, like all jealous towards the people.
No, but what do you mean by not like that? What do you mean by that?
I'm thrown off by that. That's why.
Why are you thrown off by it? You heard her
Because-
say it, and then I said it very clearly. You weren't thrown off. She had already said it.
Yeah.
She had already said you called her into the room on a few occasions. So how are you thrown off when I ask? What is there to be thrown off about? So I don't believe you. I believe you did. I believe you called her whenever you wanted, whenever your girlfriend wasn't around, you went to the landlord.
Girlfriends, Your Honor. There were more than one.
More than one girlfriend?
More than one girlfriend.
How many?
More. There were 2 that I saw.
2. Was she one of them?
She was one of them.
This is what I mean
You had
about.
another one.
I don't keep tabs on my roommates. They can
Yeah.
come and go as they please.
Your Honor.
They
How'd
have
you
their
know
privacy.
then? How'd you know he had more than one?
Because they always came over. I saw when they come in and out of
Okay,
the
you
house.
see when they
Cameras.
came in and
Like
out.
I said, Your Honor, the story that she's giving though is just not
It only
true.
happened a
I got
couple
you.
of
Did
I
you-
believe her.
That's well. See, the thing is, she's saying that I originally went just for that, to move in to not pay rent and just be her boy. That is not true. I went just to.
I asked you a very clear question. I said, did you ask her for sex? And your response was, not like that. That response convinces me that she is telling the truth and you're not. So let's move on. Let's get to the rent. I believe he would call you in for sex, like you said,
It
and
happened.
have sex with you.
It happened a
He
couple
don't
of
want her
times.
to hear it, and he
That's
don't
okay.
want the people at home to see it.
Right. Right.
What would he say? Did
It's
he ever
not
say he
something-
loved
it's
you?
not something
Did he ever
I'm
say he
proud of.
loved you?
No. There was no
Okay.
love involved.
Did he
No love
say, I
involved.
really enjoy?
Oh yeah. He was asking for more.
Oh, yeah, he was asking for more.
Yeah.
He was asking for more.
He was asking for more, but I refused.
I believe you. Tell me about the rent, ma'am.
He fell behind about 7 months.
Give me the months.
From
Starting when?
February 2019 to August 2019.
All right, and how often were you asking for it, and what would happen when
At
you
least
asked?
Every couple of weeks, every 3 weeks.
And what would he tell you?
He didn't have the money. He wasn't working. He'd give me a little bit here and there, which I gave him
A
receipts.
little bit
for.
what? Money or the other activity?
Money.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I was looking to pay my bills, Your Honor. I needed to pay my bills. I even offered to allow him to work some of it off for me.
He did work it off.
Well, at home.
Or working
in my home.
around the house.
Yard work, that type of thing.
So that's $475.
He defaulted on that as well.
Okay.
Every
and,
time the weekend came around and he was due to do some work, one of his girlfriends would show up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And ultimately, did you file eviction?
Yes, I did.
And what happened?
In May. He disappeared. I couldn't find him. I had no
Okay.
idea where
Did you
he
get an
was.
eviction judgment?
An eviction judgment? No.
Yeah.
No.
You never took it to court?
No.
He disappeared. That's what
He
you're saying?
disappeared. I couldn't get a hold of him. I didn't know where he was.
Your Honor. She didn't know where I was at. She knew I was out of town working in Washington, which I had picked up on a job. She never evicted me. I never had this is why I'm countersuing her, for the reason that I came back and all my stuff was out. She knew I was out of town. She had gave me a date that she was gonna let me come back for my stuff, which I never got no 30 days, no nothing. She just had all my stuff out. Just like how she had problems with her prior roommates. One of them even had the cops involved. She had another roommate's stuff already outside saying that he abandoned his stuff, which was not true. And that is why I'm here, because all this other stuff is not, I have the pictures of the work that I did that was paying off that. She was fine with me working around the house. I cut off trees, I cleaned, I did a whole bunch of labor that then at the end of the day was worth more than $1,000. She tried saying, no, I was only worth about $200
I gave him
worth of labor, and that is not true. You know, so we were in agreement of that. The only time that I had owed her was for 2 months that I was out of town, that she knew I was out of town.
Well, let's check. We're going to look into this, what you describe as an illegal.
But even, I don't even feel like I owe her for those 2 months, because she illegally evicted me and damaged my property.
That's what I was saying.
And there was stuff missing from me. It's getting me really mad that she's trying to make it seem like I was just living there for sex, but it's not true.
Your Honor, I submitted evidence as to the work that he did in my home.
Did you ever give him notice that you were evicting him?
Yes,
you
definitely.
Have that?
I have messages where
Copy of the notice.
She was only telling me that she wanted me out, but she...
I'll read it, sir. I can read it.
Okay.
Whatever the reason.
The only reason why I once
this is where I
tried
keep
to,
tying him if
Your
he
Honor,
can get out.
when I tried to go inside her home is because she was avoiding me and keeping my stuff from me, which is illegal.
Hi, Poppy. I hope you're doing well. Any idea when you can come for your belongings? She asked you on the 23rd. But what about the rent, ma'am, or the eviction notice?
The rent, there was
I never got any of that.
plenty.
You told me you gave him a
This is what I
notice.
have
I need
so
to see
far.
that.
Okay.
Otherwise, it may have been an illegal eviction.
Yeah,
Hey,
it
Poppy,
was.
how's it going? You still at your family's? Good morning, Poppy. Try to call me when you get a chance. I hope you are okay.
And that's all within like 2-3 days. That's not like her constantly trying to ask me if you could check the dates.
Ma'am, you gave him a written notice to leave?
It was text message and we spoke. It was verbal.
Something requesting that he move out and him agreeing to do it.
I don't know if I have that here. I have it on
All right, you did find something that's on your phone.
3 messages.
Why you
yes.
print it out? You got all that. Well, you got 50 pages. And the most important thing is it's on the phone.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I know exactly what she's gonna show you.
You don't know what and why. How
No,
do you know?
because you know why? Is because she told me if I didn't give her the money in the first, which she didn't give me a chance to, she had already thrown my stuff out by then. So it wasn't really an eviction. It was just her telling me that if I could give her
When
the
did
money.
she tell you
before the
that?
first.
When did she throw your things out?
She had already taken them out, but she never gave me a
When?
chance to give her the
When,
money.
sir? When?
The date is on her phone.
You're not looking at this phone.
I don't have.
You don't know when
exactly
she
date.
threw
It
your
was
things.
September.
Sir, do you know
September.
when she threw your things out?
September.
All right, she gave you this notice in May. So she did
No.
right. Now,
So then why
do you
did- so
have
then why did
anything,
she-
sir? Do you have any notices or any conversations?
I got this right here.
Show me the discussions about
And this is
your
on.
property.
This is September, and
All
this
right.
is all September. This is August 24th.
And you say you moved when?
Well, September is the time that she threw my stuff out.
Sir, when did you move?
I never moved. I was out of town working.
She advised you to move.
No,
she
no.
gave you notice of eviction, and you said you never moved.
No,
That's
no.
what you just told
Yeah,
me.
so I still lived there. She never
You
kicked
still
me
live
out.
there now?
Yeah, I still live there in May.
And you've paid rent?
No, but
She
Your
gave you an
Honor, I was
eviction?
working. I was
Sir.
working for her.
Your judgment is granted, ma'am. And yours is dismissed. You've been totally inconsistent. 1 minute you move, next minute
No,
you still
Your
stay
Honor.
there.
I never moved.
Have a good
though.
day. Yours is dismissed. Yours is granted.
I'm done. I'm just, a lot of things was not said that was true.
I just want to say, I wish you the best, Chris, and I'm glad I put the sniper behind me.
Okay.
No hard feelings.
Plaintiff Michael Johnson rented a house to the defendants, and he claims while living there, illegal drugs were found at the property, and a 2-year-old who was visiting ingested crystal meth. Michael's suing his former tenants for rent and late fees. Defendants Mary Dugan and her husband Randall say Michael was an irresponsible landlord who did not maintain their property. Mary claims their house was infested with mice, and Michael did nothing about it, and they're countersuing for harassment and emotional distress.
Start with you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I met the defendants in April of 2013. Seemed like normal, upstanding citizens. Soon found out that wasn't the case. Started getting information from my neighbors, or former neighbors, their neighbors, that there was traffic in and out of the house 24/7. Then, while they were on the property, there was a 2-year-old that ingested some crystal meth.
When was that?
That was, I'm not sure when that was. My HOA. I've got a witness statement from my HOA.
Why don't you read me the part that you think is most relevant today?
Let's see. One time, illegal drugs was found on the property after an incident with a young child ingesting a narcotic pill. Several other homeowners complained about the tenants often during the time that they were there. The above issue was brought up during an annual homeowners association.
Did it say when that homeowners association meeting was?
It does not, Your Honor. I was out of state. I was on the other side of the
No, I believe it. They're saying, excuse me, and they give a few references discussed at the board meeting. Found. How was it found? Do you know whether the police came and
I do
found
believe the police were there. I'm not able to get the
very
information.
specific, and they have no motive for lying if they were moving out when they told you this. This is when they were moving out?
No, I don't know when that was. I got the statement from the HOA literally a week ago.
To whom it may concern. All right. It was noticed that the property was not maintained properly. The lawn was never watered or kept up. Junk vehicles were parked in the back of the house. There was lots of traffic to and from the house at all times throughout the day. There was loud music coming from the back garage. During one event, there was a fight in the middle of the night in front of my residence on Shannon Court. People that did not inhabit the home were seen walking to and from the house frequently and were of questionable character. I did not feel safe having my children walk around outside by themselves. Police and other emergency responder vehicles were a regular occurrence at the residence. One time, illegal drugs were found in the home after an incident with a young child swallowing a narcotic pill. Several other homeowners complained about the tenants often during the time there, and above issues were brought up during our annual homeowners meeting and officers meeting. She came to my residence and tried to apologize and to make excuses for the drugs being in their home. She stated that they were renting out rooms to help pay the house payment, which they could not afford. I did not believe a word that Mary said and was honestly not surprised with drugs being found in the home. Want to respond to everything you heard that the homeowner association's administrator said?
Yeah, I would.
Go ahead.
For one, it was more ambulances. My husband has degenerative disc disease with 11 blown discs, and when his back locks up, I can't move him. Nobody can move him. I have to have an ambulance. When they bring an ambulance, they bring a sheriff, they bring a fire department, they bring the ambulance.
Why does the sheriff come?
Because they always bring a sheriff in the state of Montana because guns are always in the homes. Because it is a hunting area.
So if you say, my husband can't budge, I think he's in a coma.
They will still
They still
not
bring
go
the
in your
sheriffs
house.
with their guns drawn.
No.
Do you know this to be the law or
I've
policy?
never seen that. I've not.
Basically, what it is that the sheriff has to come and clear the house, period. That is the rulings. And then at that point, the ambulance and or the fire department may enter.
Anything else you want to address the allegation?
The fact that there was a fight in front of her house, I have no knowledge of that.
Okay. No. Anything else you want to address?
And the so-called meth found in our house, like I said, it was a tenant in our home, and her friend's daughter went upstairs into her room and ingested a Valium. We have no idea what she was doing because it was
lived
stipulated.
in the same household?
It was stipulated upon move-in with any of the subletters.
Got it. You lived in the same household?
No drugs, yes.
How many bedrooms?
It was a five-bedroom house.
All right. And did you see a lot of traffic coming in and out?
No.
All right.
There was 3 people working 3 different hours, 4 people working 4 different hours. They come and go. There was no major traffic at this house in any shape at all. I would not tolerate it. And Mike was never in the picture. He only got into the picture a little over a year and a half, 2 years ago, just before my daughter was killed. And
how was your daughter killed? Sorry to hear that.
She's a college student killed on her first trip with her boyfriend.
In May 8th of 2015.
How? Why?
This here hasn't been this way since 1977.
What happened to the other child?
He's a fallen soldier.
Leaving the Air Force Base.
Yeah, and what they say is somewhat consistent with this, and that is the Homeowners Association administrator said that she told them exactly what she's telling me today. When is the last time you read this, or did you have?
I've never seen that. I've never seen that.
She's never seen this.
And the female homeowner that he was speaking to never indicated to me that she was uncomfortable in any way, shape, or form.
She says she's never read this, and I don't have because she wrote this to you, so it makes sense that she had never read it. And everything she alleged, she addressed it the same way she addressed it to the person who wrote it. So I'm inclined to believe her. All right, you all give me some background.
We met Mike in April of 2013. Seemed like a nice guy. He moved back east. His ex-wife was who we dealt with majority of the time. All rents were paid in cash, directly deposited into her account.
I haven't gotten to that yet. What type of landlord was he?
The type of landlord he was when he was involved, irresponsible, not willing to do maintenance or repairs to things when they came up. And we ended up paying out of pocket for my 95% of the things that happened.
What was happening?
Water heater went out. They told us to turn on a little electronic water heater underneath the stairs and the dining room in a little cubby hole.
That was when again?
August of 2015.
Okay, 2 years ago.
When I got the
Do you have
permission to
anything
remove.
more recent other than 2 years ago?
Mice infestation.
All right. And when was that?
That started in...
The end of March of 2015, just before my daughter was killed.
End of March.
And it went on until we moved out.
All right.
Point where I'd open the pantry cabinet, they'd jump across the pantry cabinet.
March of
in the chest.
15, and you all moved in once again in 13.
In May of 2013.
So you all lived there for 2 years and never saw mice?
Yes.
What do you think happened? That suddenly 2 years after you moved in, they showed up.
What happened is when they replaced the water heater, the water heater vent was on the bottom.
No, they only start coming in 2 years after you lived there.
Right.
Yeah.
But the
Right,
reason,
yeah,
like,
why?
like I'm saying.
Why'd they
because
wait?
if
Couldn't
you-
tell you, I'm not a mouse.
Okay, all right. And let me get to the rent from you, sir. They allege they paid every single dime.
Well, my ex's ledger indicates otherwise.
Let me see it, please. And how far back were they late?
To this, well,
Or
this
failed to
only
pay?
goes back to 15.
All right, so I'm looking here. They owed in August of 15, $1,500. Yet they were allowed to stay until February of 17. Why wasn't your ex or you concerned about your money for 2 years?
Oh, we were concerned.
Then why did
We were
you
very
let him
concerned.
stay there for 2 years? I've never heard of a landlord, unless the person is related, say they could stay for 2 years when they owe an entire month. And then I'm looking here for other ones. They owe another $1,250. They owe another $1,000. Why were you all so generous to them?
My ex lived 120 miles away, and I lived 1,800 miles away. She kept the dialogue with him. Here's a statement from my ex on.
I'm sure she's going
on
to say
on how they were to deal
You're
with
a
it.
joke, Mike.
Who was collecting the money?
My ex.
This guy is a joke. You know, the day after my daughter...
However, you all, it says on this that you told the HOA administrator that you stated you were renting out rooms. You told me that too, to help pay the house payment, which they could not afford due to losing jobs. So you couldn't afford it.
If this helps you, Your Honor, this is not the first time they've allowed somebody to stay in their house. And that's the first
Why
one
did you
was
pay every month cash for
because
2 years?
I do things with cash I don't like, and
That's
the
that
fact
meth
that
money, huh?
no, not really. It's called.
Just kidding with you, man.
I'm old school. My mother
You
and
don't
father.
take checks when they come for that meth. No, just kidding with
after
you,
you
man.
after you
Go
bury
ahead.
2 children, you just don't
have
give a
Sir, you're in the wrong place if you didn't want to come here and have a little fun.
I have no problem with fun, but
All right.
burying my children.
I just said I'm kidding. See, I'm not saying anything about your children, sir. You've said it a few times.
I know,
And
I'm
I haven't
sorry.
addressed it one time. I said, I'm sorry to hear that, yet you've brought it up in defense to being sued. That's not a good idea.
Your Honor.
It's not a good idea to bring up your children's death in defense to being sued. Just not a good idea. Go ahead. Your counterclaim for $5,000 for harassment. How does he owe you, man?
The day after my daughter was killed, I had to pay for the, excuse my French, the hot water heater. I had to help install it. He did nothing.
What does that have to do with your daughter?
For a year, it was a day after my daughter was
No,
killed.
but why are you mentioning that? What does that have to do with today's
I had to
case?
deal with his to get.
You've cursed too many times. Her claim is dismissed. Yours is have a good.
Plaintiff Jennifer Bockel allowed the defendants to rent a room in her home, and it was an absolute nightmare. Jennifer claims the defendants fought constantly and smoked pot in her house, and she's suing them today for unpaid rent. Defendants Brooke Bruno and her husband Tom Dollarhide believe the only reason Jennifer wanted them to move in was so she could seduce Tom. Brooke claims Jennifer often wore low-cut shirts and exposed her breasts to tempt Tom. They deny owing her for anything.
Start with you.
Your Honor, it was a living hell living with these two. My son vouched for these two, said they were good persons. I brought them into my house.
When?
August of 16.
What was the rent?
We agreed of $300.
Okay. And on your son's word, you allowed them to move in.
That is correct.
And how did that go?
Well, it was a living hell. All they did was argue, fight, brought weed into the house.
What you did.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Don't even go there.
It's pretty
All
obvious.
they did was smoke in the house. He cheated on her. He would be verbally abusive to her. She even told me he would, in the past, grab her.
That's not true.
And throw her down a stairs. It was nothing but drama back and forth with these two.
Would you ever speak with them about it?
Yeah.
And what would they say?
They brought me into it, and I told them tons of time, don't bring me into
Oh my
this.
gosh, you brought yourself into it.
No,
telling
I
me you had a
didn't.
parent
I
on my
kept
shoulder.
telling you to stop bringing me into this, Brooke.
No.
And then he finally
yourself
left when she was 9 months pregnant, Your Honor.
Why did he leave, to your knowledge?
I left
He
because
just
I couldn't
walked
deal
up
with
and
her
left
anymore.
because he was cheating and texting other females.
Our relationship went down the drain because of her, and he left because he couldn't handle it anymore.
Couldn't handle her.
Look,
yeah,
I
yeah,
cooked,
that's why
I
he
cleaned.
married some woman, and you
Now-
told me
How
that.
long ago was that?
And then he cheated on her with behind your back, and you showed me a bunch of text messages.
He might have
Brooke.
cheated on her, but
Yeah.
What does my first marriage have to do with anything?
that
we
has
weren't
nothing
together.
to do with me.
And then they go and buy Percocets and show me it.
Oh yes, I'm such a drug.
And then
I
they
own a
go
contracting
to
company.
Hollywood
I make
Casino and
$150,000
spend the
a year.
money, Your Honor.
Well, it shouldn't be much of a problem. He said he makes 150 grand a year. So it shouldn't be any problem here. But you want to give me some background?
Sure. First off, I'd like to say the reason she let us move in, I honestly believe, was because she's trying to seduce my husband.
Oh,
They
wow,
would be
yeah. I
in
really don't even want
conversation
nothing
on
to
her,
do with
and
him.
her boob would fall out of her low-cut shirt and would just fall out.
Yeah, right. Yeah, give me
She
a
wouldn't
break.
put it back in. She knew it was out.
Yeah.
She wouldn't put it back in.
No.
I walked out of the room.
Something like
Every-
that.
I just stopped and walked
She
out
would
of the
sit
room.
up with her leg like this on the chair with no
Yeah,
underwear.
whatever.
Short shorts.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
I don't believe
I promise, Your
The
Honor.
woman would have her breast outside of her bra.
He had to walk out of the room.
Yeah.
Because she
and
did
she
not
would
want-
act like she didn't even know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So she'd
Brooke.
be there
Exactly.
walking around the house.
Yes. And he walked out. I was not in the room.
Your Honor, my
The woman
bedroom was
mistakenly is
downstairs.
walking around.
It wasn't a
with-
mistake, Your Honor. There's no way.
Wasn't a mistake or not.
It was a mistake, Your Honor.
Thank
My
you. It was a
bedroom is down.
mistake that she was walking around like that in the house.
Your Honor, I
You
was in
should
my
have brought it to
bedroom.
her attention
She
instead of
knew.
walking out. You heard her say it was a mistake.
How do you not know your boob is out of
I
your
don't
shirt?
know. Ask her. She said it was a mistake.
Your Honor, I was in my bedroom on my bed.
Ma'am, I'm with you. If it was a mistake, mistakes happen. It happened with Janet Jackson. Now. That's true. Hers
I
fell
hear-
out and she didn't know it.
But I guarantee you, I would not even touch that thing.
Why? He is beautiful.
Thank God. Thank God.
Beautiful.
What's the rent about, ma'am?
November, December, and January, Your Honor.
They failed to pay those 3 months.
Yes, I'm not going back on the other months.
Okay. All right. And what do you all say to that?
We
November,
paid
December,
$300
January.
rent on the 1st of November,
Okay.
$300 on the 1st of December, and in lieu of the $300 for January, he did a $1,200 timing chain job on her vehicle.
Okay. And that was understood to take care of all of the rent
Correct.
that month. All right.
I disagree with that, Your Honor.
What part? Did you receive $300 in November?
No, I did not.
December?
No, I
Did
did
he
not.
fix your car in January?
No, he did not. They moved out in January.
Correct, we did at the end of January.
And he didn't do the timing chain in January.
When did he do
He
it?
did it during the close to like before when he came back around in October.
Did you ever give them receipts for payment?
Yes, I did. They have a receipt.
You have a copy of it? Anyone?
I didn't bring that, but I do.
Did you all receive a receipt?
I received one. I don't know where it's at, but I do have this paper here that she signed releasing.
What is that
debt,
saying?
Any money owed, anything.
It releases us from all debt.
At what point? When you moved?
Yep.
January 23rd.
Tenant vacating agreement. Remaining tenants agrees to discharge the landlord.
Keep going.
You read it and tell me what you think. So far, all I've seen
It's
is
from
releasing
the
the landlord from
6 months from February and on, Your Honor.
It says remaining tenant agrees to release, acquit, satisfy, and forever discharge the landlord, owner of the premises, any other owners of the rental premises, any agents of the owners, which is me. I'm an agent of the owner.
Okay. What about you all's debt?
This releases it.
That releases the landlord, as you just read. Read yourselves. Read about you, the
Any
tenant.
agents of the owners, its owners, agents, employees, and assigns, accounts, reckoning, bonds, bills.
We're still talking about the landlord. I want to hear tenant. I want to hear she releases the tenants. That's what you were. All right, fine. You're representing the landlord. She's not suing the landlord. She's suing you, tenants. Read to me where she releases you, tenants.
The agents of the owners. I am.
Okay, so she's not suing the owners. You're not listening to me or understanding. Perhaps that's why you're submitting this bogus agreement, because you don't know what you signed. It says releasing landlord. Not one word have you said that says release tenants. She's suing you as tenants today. So your judgment is granted. He doesn't even understand that he's the one being sued and not the landlord. And so your defense fails. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
How dare you, Brooke? How dare you don't admit that I took care of you and your 3 kids while he cheated on you? I told you, once a cheater, always a cheater. Now that you marry him, you're stuck with him. I hope you have a good life with him.
Thank you. You're ridiculous.